Hello everyone. Welcome to Gardening for Better Health. This is Henry B. 723 coming to you today from my kitchen. I wanted to say hello. I wanted to check in and make sure that everybody is okay. Today is Monday, January 13th, 2025. And as I speak to you right now, in California, they're having a lot of problems in the LA area and the suburbs with fire. Fires have been raging in California for several days now, and it's not getting any better today with the winds picking up. So I would first like to say my heart goes out to everybody who is being affected by the fires out there. People have lost homes. People have died, people are missing, and I just want to say my heart is with you, and I'm praying that things get better for you soon. And I would like to ask my viewers to please find an organization that you trust, and if you can, please send something in relief efforts to help the people in California. I don't know how long it's going to take them to rebuild because the devastation there is just absolutely horrible. So please keep them in your thoughts and prayers as you go about doing what you need to do. We all depend on each other to make it. We're all part of the human family. So we need to take care of each other as best we can. After we take care of our families first, then see what you can do to take care of somebody else or help them in some way. Thank you very much. Well, you saw the caption on this video. I entitled the video, "The Handwriting is on the Wall," and it is. For those of you who are on the fence about whether or not you should garden or whether or not it's worthwhile gardening, the handwriting is on the wall. It's not just a situation in California. I'll give you a reference here. I was on the USDA's website earlier, and it's the USDA Economic Research Service website that I was visiting, and I'm going to give you that website so that you can look it up because it's not going to show up very well on the screen. But the website that I was looking at, it's www.ers.usda.gov. That's www.ers.usda.gov. And they have an area there called the Economic Research Service of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And I found it pretty interesting reading this article. I'll share a little bit of it with you, but I'm not going to read it all. I'd like for you to go there and look at it for yourself. The title is 2022 Census of Agriculture. Number of U.S. farms fall below 2 million. And I'll say that again. Number of U.S. farms in 2022 Census of Agriculture. The number of U.S. farms falls below 2 million. Let me go here so that I can give you what I consider a real interesting bit of information from them. They say the number of farms in the United States has fallen below 2 million for the first time since before the Civil War. In 2022, there were 1,900,487 farms in the country, a 7% decline from the level reported in 2017 census. They're going by census records. And they define what a farm is. They define a farm as an establishment that produced and sold or would have sold in normal conditions at least $1,000 in agricultural production in a year. Okay, so there's been a decline, a 7% decline from the level that was reported in 2017. Now that's not a long period of time, okay? We lost a lot of farms during that time period. And we lost the farms for a number of reasons. They didn't get into why, but they have noticed huge decreases in the farms in the United States, according to the census. Now, 9 times out of 10, a lot has to do with the weather that we've been having. We've had some really, really bad hurricanes, storms, tornadoes come through various sections of the country, and I'm quite sure that those hurricanes and tornadoes have affected a lot of farms as well. Part of the reason that we don't have as many as we used to. So it's really, really evident that we need to do something. Recently, we had floods that affected North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and several other states. How many farms do you think were in those areas? I don't know specifically the number, but I'm quite sure that a significant amount of farms were affected in those areas. And that has not been counted yet because this was census from 2022. What will be reflected next time is the things that we lost, the farms that we lost in those areas during the next census, and also the farms that we lost in California. California produces a lot of agriculture, and we won't know the ramifications of this particular fire event for a while, but looking at TV, so much has been leveled in California. So if you have been on the fence about growing your own food, the USDA is saying we have lost farms. The weather events is flooding different areas, and there are farms in those areas that it floods. We're having hurricanes, we're having fire events, and all of that is going to affect the availability of food. Now, we may be all right for right now, but it's coming. The handwriting is on the wall. Grow something. Get a little pot. If that's all you can do is get a little pot, put some dirt in it, and put some seeds in it and water it, and grow something. Grow some lettuce. Grow some radishes. Grow some whatever you can grow in your area. I don't know how much space you have. If you have a little bit of space, get a little bitty pot and start with that. If you have more space, get a bigger pot. If you have yard space, go out there and plant something in the dirt, or put some raised beds out there and put some dirt in it and some fertilizer and go for it, because the handwriting is on the wall. I have been working on some things here. We're in the middle of a snowstorm in my area. I've got snow covering up my whole beds out there. But I am going to be starting some seeds here soon. I didn't want to start my seeds too early because my last frost date is not until early May. So I don't want to start my seeds too early, but I can go ahead and start my lettuce seeds again. I usually keep a good supply of lettuce growing in my kitchen under grow lights on my grow table. So you can start with some seeds in a pot under a grow light, and it'll start to grow for you. And it takes a while for it to mature, depending on where you are. It may get warmer in your area before it gets warm here, and you'll be able to transplant it outside so that it can continue to grow and feed you and your family should something happen to the food supply here. I also want to have you look at and consider getting some livestock, getting some poultry. The price of eggs is sky high. They've got bird flu that's causing them to cull thousands and thousands of chickens. So those chickens that are being culled, that means that the eggs from those chickens are not going to be processed. The eggs from the chickens are going to be non-existent. The chickens themselves aren't going to be available for meat. So the price of eggs is constantly going up in the grocery store. Chicken meat is going up because there are fewer chickens because they've had to destroy so many. If you can have chickens where you live, I would suggest that you see about what the rules are in your area. And if you can, get a couple of chickens to lay some eggs for you and get some meat from those birds. If you can't have chickens where you are, consider getting quail. A lot of areas that won't let you have chickens, they don't have any rules and regulations about you being restricted from having quail. Quail are birds. Their eggs are little, but they taste fantastic. They're just as good as chicken eggs and even a little bit more smooth in taste. One quail egg is equal to, one chicken egg is equal to 4 quail eggs because their eggs are smaller. Get you some quail. Nobody will bother you about those quail. You can have the quail in the house. You don't even have to have them outside if you don't want to, even though they're hardy birds and they do well outdoors if you put them outside. They can take below 0 temperatures as long as you protect them from the wind and the elements. They lay eggs once or twice a day per quail. So you can have enough eggs for yourself and your family despite what's going on with the bird flu and the chickens. You can have meat for yourself and your family because those little quails, you can process the quail, and they're small, just like little Cornish hens. And just from the quail, you can have eggs, a good supply of eggs. You can have meat, a good supply of meat, no matter what else is going on with these chickens, because that's not going to stop. They're saying the bird flu is jumping from the birds to people, and so it's going to be an ongoing process with the chickens. So to avoid all of that, get some quail. I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to have food and shelter and do well. So that's why I come on YouTube and I tell you about different things that I know about, because if it's helping me, it may help you. But with what's going on, the handwriting is on the wall. We have to do something. Start small and go from there. So that's what I had for you today. I do want you to be well. I want us to look out for one another because we're all in this together. And we need to look at it that way. We are all in this together. So we need to help one another if we can. Well, this is Henry B. 723. I will put a link in the description as to how to get to this website that I told you about so that you can find it and read the article for yourself. And if you have any questions or comment, please leave them in the comment section below. I do respond to my comments. And we'll see what we can do to help each other. This is Henry B. 723. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.